you also there's questions that they have to answer after that loss. And you referred to it as gut punch, and it was. They should have won that game. I mean, 7 yards in the second half and minus 11 in the fourth quarter to a team that has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown. You should win that game 100 times out of 100, and you didn't. What are the questions that you have moving forward?
Well, I mean, one is how do they get themselves back off the mat? Um, because again, they know what's up next. They know a trip to Baltimore isn't going to be easy in any typical circumstance. But catching the Ravens off of what the Ravens went through on Sunday night, plus the Ravens are doing this 30th anniversary thing where, well, let's be honest, whether they asked for Cleveland to be their home opener or not, they're giving they're giving the Cleveland Browns and the city of Cleveland the middle finger with this by doing it against the Browns. Recognize they know what it means, what the 30th anniversary of the franchise's existence means here, because that's why that's why this new Browns organization exists, is because the old one went to Baltimore. But I digress there. You know, I need to see this defense build off of this, because you're going to need to keep. Can this defense build off of it? The Bengals offense is really prolific, but they've had success in the past against Cincinnati. What can they do against that Ravens attack that with Lamar Jackson both throwing and running, with then Derrick Henry running the ball the way he is? That's a big question mark, and those are the type of offenses you're going to see, over the next month. Can they build off of this? And then Joe had the two interceptions, but I think while he's not absolved of any blame on those throws, there's a lot that went into those interceptions that weren't just Joe Flacco's fault. So can they, get another performance like that out of Joe against a really good defense like the Ravens have? But with the added weight that this is going to be Joe's first time back in Baltimore playing. He's acknowledged he's played Baltimore before. He just hasn't played Baltimore in Baltimore. And on a day where they're going to be celebrating the history of that franchise, he's a prominent figure in that franchise. So it's going to be understandable that the emotions are going to be running high for him, assuming they are. So can he replicate the pat? Because I thought he was poor. He just brought a competence to that position that I don't think we had really seen in a while. Probably going. I mean, you have to go all the way back to the December of 23 when he came in and stabilized things on the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a different challenge being Henry and Lamar Jackson. And in fairness, Jim Schwartz, Brown's defense, has had some success against Henry. They kind of make him move laterally before he gets going, and they've had some success. I won't say a lot of success, but some. So that's going to be a test, and I'm with you. What do you think of the way Greg Newsome played? He played well.
I think Greg played exceptionally well, and I think Greg was one of the keys to why they were able to have the success that they had. Because look, Cincinnati wanted no part of the Jamar Chase Denzel Ward matchup. They wanted they knew they've seen how that matchup has gone, so give them credit. They're like, look, we've got somebody on the other side that we can try to go after, and Greg was up to the challenge. He didn't let Jamar have opportunities to really make catches. There was one down the sideline where Jamar, it was a drop by Jamar, but Greg was in the area and was sort of you know kind of creating some a distraction or something as he was running by. So just give Greg credit. I mean, he's been maligned at times during his time in Cleveland, and I think that type of performance, he was having a really good camp before he had the shoulder injury early in camp that kept him out a couple of weeks. For him to come out, come off of that camp and kind of, like Miles, kind of pick up where he left off in training camp. I think it's a real positive. Understanding it's a contract year for him, but I think he shows the kind of the comfort level that he has back outside where he originally played when he came into the league before they drafted Martin Emerson, which sort of forced him inside. So with him on the outside opposite Denzel, you really do have two exceptional uh, cornerbacks.